Hey everybody, back with Ba at Bitstrips from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, great state of Canada.
That's right, the great state of Canada. We're happy to be here in the warmth right now, let me tell you. We've been getting pretty dumped on pretty hard.
Now we're going to look at the social networking aspects of Bitstrips. We didn't really catch that on our last interview.
Yeah, so not only is it a place where you can be entertained and be as creative as you want to be, it's also an entirely new kind of social network, because basically you and all your friends live on the site as cartoon characters. And it's really easy to connect with your friends and do creative collaborations and read your friends' comics. So right here, I can see my go from my profile page, where I have all my Bitstrips and my friends, and now I'm on my friends page, where I see all my friends together. Here's my, you got it? Here's my whole list of all my friends. I've been making a lot of them over the last few days, let me tell you.
Anybody we've heard of?
On my list, probably not yet, but we're working on that. So then from here you can go into your friends' profiles, you can send them private messages in comic form. One of the kind of underlying philosophies of the whole site is we really want to explore the idea of comics as communication. Because we think that in comics there's like a level of expression that you can't really do in any other medium, and so previously it was only accessible to like the small handful of people who had the ability and the willingness to draw the same thing over and over again. Now everyone can use this as a tool for communications, and basically you can design your friends like I was just designing you, and then send them that in an email, and it's like an invitation, and if they follow it they can come to the site and use that design as their avatar. Or refine it if they're not totally happy with the way it looks. But basically, it's very possible that you could come to the site and already find yourself there as a cartoon, so you don't even have to build yourself if your friend did first.
Let me ask you an aside here, and then we want to get into this kind of Twitter thing here. Just an aside, Austin, Texas is one of the capitals of the comic book world. Some of the all-time great comic book artists have come through this town. Right. Primarily, they've done like the rock posters for the Armadillo World headquarters, and done the Zap comics and the the classic underground comics. Have you I'm just going to throw this out. Have you thought of like maybe contracting with some of these great comic book artists to kind of build genres for you on your site?
Absolutely. I mean, we're huge fans of comics, obviously. Like, we've been reading comics all our lives, everything from Marvel superheroes to like 8-Ball and Chris Ware and all that stuff. And I mean, we wanted to start off with our kind of distinct yet generic style so that people could really imprint their own ideas into this as much as possible. But ultimately, down the road, once we've had some more time to develop, this technology could be applied to any style of art. So it's totally feasible that we could introduce, like, now here's a bunch of comics with this particular like famous artist's style to them. We'll have to see who wants to do that, because then everyone's making comics that look like theirs. But as a fan, like, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, it'd be a way for them to live on through the ages, to immortalize themselves. They're not going to live forever, but through you, their style could live. I mean, you could have like WordPress. They have an open source community, and anybody can develop a theme for it. Have you thought of doing something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, down the road, like, we have tons of further augmentations to this that are going to take it to another level and another level and another level. So more styles and skins is definitely coming down the road.
All right, let's look at the. I'm sidetracking you. What were you about to say before I so rudely interrupted you there?
I was just going to tell you one more thing on the kind of social part of it. Well, one of the interesting things about our site is if I go into my characters, let me try to get back to my home page here. If it loads. Oh boy.
Dun, 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 dun. Here we go.
Still trying to get there.
Talk about this.
Okay.
Panel. Oops. There we go.
Oh dear.
All right, let's talk about
Okay.
this panel right here.
Sure. So this is a really fun feature, and this kind of exemplifies the whole comics as communication idea. As soon as you sign up and have a few friends, you get this little thing on the side that we're calling the chatterbox.
Yeah.
So basically, it's your avatar with whatever expression you want, with whatever little status message you want. So it kind of really gives the site that live, continuous, dynamic feeling. Like you find out what's happening with
Like Twitter. It's like a Twitter.
Exactly. And we're hoping to, in not too long, actually integrate this with Twitter so that potentially you put in a Twitter and it could show up on here coming out of your avatar's mouth. So
Shouldn't be too hard to do with their open API.
that's right. And then from here, you can just go to your friends and like send them a message or view their Bitstrips or go to their profile. So it's an easy way to kind of keep your friends with you the whole time when you're on the site. And there's one other thing.
Let's look at this Zuckerberg. Can we look at this Zuckerberg
Sure.
keynote fiasco here?
So the other amazing thing about Bitstrips is because it's so fast and so easy to use, you can literally Bitstrip something minutes after it's happened and put it out for the world to see.
Yeah.
So this is a little comic rendition of something that everyone's been talking about.
Here we've got Zuckerberg. The lady's saying, you know, the funny thing I know about Mark is that you don't know is this thing he told me over dinner last night. And then somebody in the audience is screaming, talk about something interesting. And then she's saying, you guys think this is easy? You don't know how hard my job is. She's got this angry look. And then somebody's screaming from the audience, try writing code. And then she says, do I really suck all that bad? Well, why don't you tell me what I'm doing wrong? Check Twitter.
Yeah, so
That's brilliant.
that means that these strips can be like about as topical and as current as it can get. Like as soon as something happens, it's going to get Bitstrips from now on. So
Who did this? Who did this one?
they did this
You
one.
did this one yourself.
Yeah, and so most people are amused. Some people are not so amused. But what are you going to do? You know, you can't make everybody.
And then we got comments, fascinating. Tweet, hi there. I also like ice cream, but this was way cooler than ice cream. I need a spoon.
And then from here, you could like go to their profiles. Here's another interesting feature. It'll show you the cast of any Bitstrip, and from here, you can just click on the character, and you go right into their character page. And not only that, like the way the whole site is built, it's really amazing. Our programmer Dave Kennedy is like scary genius in terms of the underlying architecture.
No kidding.
So one of the things we have is you design your character, the site will track any other characters that this character has appeared with and list them here. So we got Sarah Lacey, Steve Jobs, Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser has been in some other strips with him. You can
Let's look at that Steve Jobs character.
Sure. The crazy thing here is we think that, I mean, this is kind of a, like, it's, I wouldn't say hidden, but it's not necessarily like upfront feature of the site. But basically this right here is the beginning of the world's first social network for fictional characters. And I've always been building elaborate worlds in my head, so that's pretty exciting to me. So, yeah, we'll just
Look at Steve Jobs here.
People have been using Steve Jobs a lot. Here we've got all the comics that he's appeared in.
Anybody can use this character.
That's right. So if you make a character, you can basically set the permissions for it. So you can either say, nobody can use this, like, I'm making my own creation and I don't want anyone to mess with it. That's fine. You could say, I want to collaborate with all my friends on this series, so just my friends can use it. Or you can say, you know what? This character is...
Yeah, this is permission, public access, strips and character builder.
That's right. And you can actually do the same with your comics. So any comic, depending on if you allow it to be, is fully editable. So let's say you put out a comic and then some guy in Tokyo or whatever reads your comic and thinks maybe he's got a funnier punchline, or maybe he just has a different take on it altogether. If you've let the permissions open, he could open up your comic, remix it, add his own words, swap the characters out, and then create a new comic based on a remix of your comic without ever actually affecting your original comic. So
you do like a mashup.
exactly, and with that, the possibilities for creative collaboration with potentially millions of strangers is, I think, unprecedented in human history. So it's pretty exciting.
All right, zoom back so you can see us. We're just going to make some closing comments here. In my opinion, my humble opinion, this is the best of the show. Absolutely the best of the show. If there was an award for the best of the show, you guys should win it.
Well, maybe next year. We'll be back for sure.
Enter the Web Awards next year. We'll enter all kinds.
We were nominated, actually. We were nominated in the amusement category, but we were beaten by the elves.
The elves. What's the elves?
Help yourself.
Oh, okay.
But you can't beat 36 million elves.
No, you can.
But next year, yeah.
This is absolutely, in my opinion, this is the best thing I've seen at this show.
Thank you so much. That's really, after keeping this top secret for a year and not leaving the house, that's it's really gives us a big warm fuzzy,
Great. Thank you. All right.
Thanks a lot.